Rev up your engines! Okay, today got an interesting vehicle, a 2011 Honda Pilot. The guy bought it a couple years ago, used, at an auction for $5,000. He wants me to tell him whether you should keep it up and keep driving it or get something else, because he does use it for Uber and stuff, and he puts a lot of mileage on it. It came from New York and it lives in New York. It doesn't have a real rust factor because Honda actually is like Toyota. They've learned how to coat their vehicles. Back in the day, in the 70s, Hondas were rust buckets in the salt area. They'd rot away. But that's no longer the case. This is the dual exhaust touring 4-wheel drive. You can see, even though it's lived in New York, the alloy wheels are still in excellent shape. And as we look inside, the leather seats are still in excellent shape. The dash isn't cracked. The back seats are in excellent shape. As are the back seats. You can fit a lot of people in one of these things. Now, I bought it at an auction, which I'm not a big fan of, but it was actually a one-owner Honda Pilot. A Honda dealer doesn't generally want to sell high-mileage vehicles. So they sent it to this Mannheim auction where he bought it for $5,000. Now, interesting enough, he's from Pakistan and he even watched my videos when he was growing up in Pakistan. So he was smart enough. First thing he did was put money into it to make it reliable so it can last for years. And he did the right thing. It's an excellent Honda V6 engine, but as you can see here with the plastic, it's got rubber timing belts. And everybody else has gone to metal timing chains, right? Honda went to metal timing chains ages ago in their 4-cylinder engines. But all their V6 engines, every one I've ever seen, even today, 2025, they're using rubber timing belts with an interference engine. If the belt breaks, or the water pump breaks, and the belt flies off, pistons hit the valves, the engine is goodbye. So, he had the timing belt, water pump, he had the struts replaced, some suspension work. So, he's into the car like $9,000-10,000 now. But he's had it for 2 years. He uses it for Uber and personal use. He's making money with the vehicle. And of course, it's been infinitely reliable because it's a Honda. And here comes Peeps. He wants to see what's going on. Hey, Peeps, what are you doing? Now, they're a relatively large vehicle. You saw all the seats that they hold. It's got a big Honda V6 engine. And yes, it's a gas hog. Anything this big that holds that much stuff, he's probably getting, he said, about 14 miles a gallon. You might get a little bit better. I'm giving him some of Bernie's fuel injector cleaner, see if it'll help a little bit. And we'll look at the data to see what's happening inside. But it's a big, heavy vehicle. It has an actual automatic transmission, and they use gas. Any big vehicle that's got 3 rows of seats is going to be a relatively gas hog vehicle. That's just the way that it goes. Unless you're talking about an electric vehicle or a big hybrid electric vehicle, you're going to use a lot of gas driving one of these things around. That's the nature of the beast. See what you get in a Suburban that can hold these, or an Expedition. You're going to get bad gas mods. That's just how these vehicles are. You have to know that ahead of time. If you're looking for gas mods, you wouldn't even look at a car like this. In the Hondas, you can look around, almost everything on and under here is original equipment, you know, except for the battery. Everything else is pretty much as it was from the factory. Interesting enough, this is a very American vehicle. You might think, what's a Honda? Is it an American vehicle? Yeah, well, look. It was made in Alabama, and they do a pretty good job down there. It's got the DVD player because it's older, right? You can see all the seat belts hanging there, so it's really safe. You don't just have lap belts, you have 3-point belts on them, and everything inside still in excellent shape. Plus, it's got a key. Yes, a key. I love keys. I hate keyless ignition systems. Now, the gas mileage ratings he gave me were in town average, right? Because I just looked, and it's getting 24.5 miles a gallon driving here from upstate New York to Rhode Island. So on the highway, 24.5 miles a gallon. That is really good for a vehicle this size. But he does a lot of in-town driving, hence he's only going to get 14 driving in town. But on the highway, 24.5 for something this big, that's pretty good. That's around with the 4-wheel drive system. It's older, so it's got, yes indeed, a CD player and a DVD. Of course, the DVD is up here. Start her up and listen to it. Sounds nice and quiet, idle smooth. Now this thing has over 200,000 miles on it, so he wants me to check it out and see what shape it's in. I've already looked around, it's not rusty or anything, so he's not going to get rid of it because it's rusting. I like it because it's old school. There's the parking brake, look. It's an actual parking brake, you put your foot on it. not that electronic crap. It has parking aid, and you can even have the vehicle speed system. You can have it on, or you can turn it off. Turn that off, it's already detected the vehicle. Do a standalone diagnosis, and it's read the VIN already. That was fast. Apologies again. And while it's doing it, we'll look around. Yeah, the armrest is worn a little. Hey, it's got 200-something thousand miles on it, right? You can get a lot of people. That's why he uses this for an Uber. You can fit a whole bunch of people very comfortably in this car. All kinds of stuff for the defroster. You can lock and unlock stuff. Change the heat control one side or the other. Everything is mapped out simply. And it's got the guide here for the top. But I mean, let's face the fact, who uses maps on these things anymore? You use your phone. Got a whole bunch of toll codes, so we're going to have some fun here, right? Now, we'll start with the TPMS. I'm sure the sensors don't work anymore. We'll just ignore that. Turn off the sensors. Are all broken, so we don't care. We'll erase it, but you don't expect the tire pressure monitoring system to work on a car this old. You get a pressure gauge, put it in the glove box. And we'll check out the VTM system. Powertrain system failure. Well, it says the PCM failed. Hey, there's a lot of complexity in this. He's not having any particular shifting problems. You can get oddball glitches like that. I mean, let's see if anything comes back. We'll go to the ABS system. Low voltage, ECM, PCM, relation failure. That's often all low voltage, as was the other code. So we'll look under the hood. And lo and behold, the battery's been changed at some point in time, and you get low voltage through the battery. It's going to trip codes, and people don't erase them, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm assuming a bunch of these are going to be integrated control unit voltage problems. Let's see what it says. Yet again, it says voltage problems, so I'll erase that too. Now, the PCM has a code, so we'll see what that is. Sometimes they mean something, sometimes they don't. Permanent catalyst system deficiency below threshold, bank number 1. Okay, we'll erase it, but I already know what's going on here. I'm sure the catalytic converter is wearing out, old age. He says it comes on, it goes off, comes on, goes off. I'm giving it some of Bernie's cleaner, and the Bernie's cleaner works great. It can clean it out, and it can go okay. Now, as I've told people, I've had customers with these things that have mileage like this, even more. Light comes on, light goes off. As long as you can get it to pass your emissions testing, if they test emissions. Now, if they don't test emissions, like in Tennessee, you can ignore it. If the catalytic converter actually is clogged up, you'll see the temperature gauge, instead of in the middle, will start running towards the H because you can't get rid of the hot air. And you might not be able to go over like 40, 50 miles an hour because it's clogged up. Then you got to do something about it. But I have seen people drive these cars years with an inefficient cat code. Our codes are power seats. And again, these are low voltage ones, probably because the battery was changed. Nobody reset them. So what I'm going to do is just erase them all. There it goes. It's erasing all those other codes. Gone. So let's start her up and look at live data from the PCM. Remember, black's good, red is bad. You can see the heated oxygen sensor, bank 1, sensor 2, was red. Now it's black. And that's the catalytic converter that's kind of acting up. It's in the black now, but it was in the red before. And since that's the bank 1, sensor 2, that's the sensor after the catalytic converter. So it shows that the bank 1 catalytic converter is probably a little bit worn. There's nothing wrong with the sensor itself. The sensor's just reporting what's happening. And it's reporting that the catalytic converter isn't perfect, that it's below the threshold. But it's running perfectly fine. So we'll go through some more data. The lambda command is 1, and it's 1.01 once in a while. 0.99. It's 1/100th off. That's nothing. Who cares? A vehicle with over 200,000 miles is running 1/100% off. Now that tells you how well made Hondas are. At least back in these days. Injection system looks fine. Now this is just an error. They often say this on Hondas. Maximum engine speed, and it says 0. Well, that's just an error in the software. I see that all the time. Maximum speed is 0. It's already idling, so you ignore that. And we see misfires, 200-something thousand miles. Total misfires, 0. 0 across the board. Look at that, all zeros. And the backup camera still works pretty good too. It's got a nice wide angle to it. Go over here so we don't run into the white's matrix that's resting from a trip to the grocery store. Pretty good panoramic for an old car. Hey, look at it. Still pretty crisp. The Honda engineers seem to know what they were doing when they built this thing. I've seen modern cars that don't work this good. And it's a rainy day too, so there's a little bit of wet on it. Ultra smooth even though it's got 200,000 plus miles on it. Realize though, this thing's done a lot of highway driving. That's one of the reasons it's in such good shape. Highway mileage is equivalent to maybe 10 to 15% of city driving, so it's not like this has 220,000 miles of New York City in-town stop-and-go driving. Now, you can see it's a little bit bouncy. I can hear a little bit of noise. Hey, you know, suspension's a little bit older, but it still handles good. You can hear a little noise, the springs knocking around. Things get old, they make a little noise. Sway bars, you could put new sway bar links, probably they're a little bit worn, but nothing outrageous. Now we get to the top of the hill. It's almost lunchtime, but well, nobody's coming. Here we go. And we'll get straight on the road, give it some gas. This is that Honda V6. Tranny shift smooth as a bell, 220,000 miles. Engine doesn't miss a beat. This thing's in excellent shape. Sure, he paid $5,000 used, but then put another $4,000 in it. But it's worth it. This vehicle makes him money. He drives around with Uber. He uses it as his personal car. It was rust-proof pretty well because it spent its life in New York State and it's still not corroded. And on the highway, he got 24.5 miles a gallon driving here. Yeah, in the city, he gets like 14. But, hey, it's a big vehicle. Being as big as this, he gives a lot of people a lot of rides that he can make money on. You can't do that in a little bitty Civic. You need something bigger. And I know a lot of people are afraid, oh gee man, I don't want to buy a vehicle that's got 200,000 miles on it, almost at 170. That doesn't mean that much in a Honda if it's been taken care of. And this was a one-owner Honda too. The dealer took it as a trade-in. They just don't want to sell cars that have 175,000 miles. They wholesaled it out to this auction. Very comfy ride. It's high enough in the air. You feel really secure. Quiet ride, smooth transmission. Hey, for his $5,000 plus $4,000 worth of work, you got yourself a pretty good deal. Don't be shocked by Hondas that might go 300,000-400,000 miles. He did change the timing belt and the water pump because these are interference. They do have rubber timing belts. So you want to do that if you buy one of these and it doesn't have a history of the timing belt being changed. But once you do that and take care of it, there's still a lot of life left in these Hondas. Now, if this had been a GM or a Ford 3-row SUV with 175, I tell the people on the phone, don't buy it. It's a money pit. If it isn't now, it soon will be, and you'll throw all your money in it. Not the case with this Honda. It's pretty hard to find these 3-road vehicles for this kind of money that still run as well as this, unless you're looking at something like a Honda or a Lexus or a Toyota. Even the AC works perfectly fine. So I'm telling them, definitely keep this thing. It's in excellent shape. He put the money into it. He's not a riverboat gambler. Now, I've seen people that were riverboat gamblers and they buy something like this with 170,000 miles. They didn't change the timing belt, and when they were at 300,000 miles, they still didn't change it. It was still running down the road. So, but why be a gambler? You know, you're better to spend the money, put the timing belt water pump on, then you got peace of mind knowing that's not going to break, the pistons won't hit the valves and ruin the engine. Because this baby still has a ton of life left in it. And even though he bought it at an auction, it's an interesting auction. It was from a dealer, from an original owner, because dealerships generally don't like selling cars that have close to 200,000 miles. They see too much liability on that side because they're a dealership. And the law in most places is, if something major breaks, it's a pre-existing condition during the first month, they got to fix it. So say the engine or tranny went out, they're going to have to fix it. It would cost them a fortune. So those vehicles, they just send them to auctions and get rid of them. So if you go to one of those auctions, you might find a decent deal. A lot of auctions are wrecked cars, flooded cars, they don't even have the title to it. This one was clean, and hey, mileage, not that big of a deal on one of these Hondas. 3 real rows of seating. Hey, you can't beat what he put into it, the shape that it's in, and it's probably got many years of driving left in it. And if you think, oh, I don't like buying old used ones, okay, price will one of these new ones cost, and you might change your mind. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.